It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
Welcome to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome into Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 106 today. And you know what that means as well as I do. That is 106 straight Saturday mornings, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time on Spotify. We have not missed yet. We promise to come at you every single Saturday morning, and we have done so for now an unbelievable 106 straight Saturdays. We are glad that you're with us. Come on in. The pool is fine. The hot tub is ready to go. The grill is going full bore. Fruits and vegetables off to the right. Cold drinks off to the left. Cigar bar in the back left corner of the pool area. Plenty of extra towels. Plenty of extra suntan lotion. Plenty of extra chairs. It's all here for you. If you brought nothing at all today, you can still come on in and enjoy clothes-free living for all of the right reasons because we've provided everything for you. So just come on in and enjoy the pool and the food and the hot tub and everything else we have around here as we enjoy this next hour together. Well, Lisa Monroe will be here in just a few moments. We will talk about a variety of topics, including Nude Recreation Week starting on Monday, just in 2 days, sponsored by the American Association for Nude Recreation. All week long, we are celebrating nudism, naturism, clothes-free living for all the right reasons. And it will last all the way through next Sunday, July 13th. And then next Saturday, a week from today, National Nude Skinny Dipping Day. How about that? A whole bunch of activities coming up this week where you can do them without your clothes off. Just be careful, just be safe, follow the laws, and all that good stuff. We don't want anybody getting in trouble, but do enjoy this week, especially because it is National Nude Recreation Week. Chris from Indiana Naturists will be here for part 2 of his interview, a non-landed nudist club, obviously in the state of Indiana. He is the founder and owner of that club, does an amazing job. I believe he's been going about 15 years now, and his wife now helps him out. He didn't even know her when he started the group, and then he brought her into naturism. She didn't even know about that, and now she's a naturist as well, a nudist, and helps run the club, the Indiana Naturists. So part 2 with Chris from Indiana Naturists coming up about the halfway point of the show or so. Just a reminder, as we said a few weeks ago when we did episode 104, which dropped on June 21, we said that was by request from lots of listeners. Been going on since we dropped our first episode way back on July 1st of 2023. A lot of people want a whole show with just Lisa and Frank. And so we gave you one on June 21st. As of this moment, we have 3 more planned for the rest of this year. You don't have to write these down, but they are August 9th, September 27th, and November 15th. But I know we're going to add at least 1 more, if not 2 more, and possibly 3 more before the year is over, especially as we get into the Christmas and New Year season. But just when you thought it could not get any better, it's going to get a lot better. When Lisa comes in, we'll talk about it. We have a big announcement for you today. We announced this to our Patreon peeps, our PPPs, back on June 10th. Every 10th of every month, we send special content to the 2 top tiers of our PPPs, and we let them know all about this on June 10th. And guess what? Now you get to find out today something big is about to take place at Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, and you just have to wait a few more minutes. I see Lisa wandering around out there outside the glass. She'll be coming in a moment, and we'll tell you all about it. Way back on May 24th, when we dropped episode 100, we had a cast of characters come in and sing some tunes for you. 4 of the 5 tunes were popular songs. They changed the words to reflect nudity, naturism, clothes-free living, and one was already all about being naked. And I put word out Since then, if you have lyrics you'd like to send in to a popular song that most of the audience would know, but you want to substitute lyrics involving naturism, nudism, clothes free living, go ahead and do so. And some people already have done that. So, over the next month or two, as time allows, and as our cast of characters able to arrange their travel schedules and weekend schedules to be here with you, we will have them in and we will sing some more songs for you. But this time, the lyrics provided by some of our listeners. So you have that to look forward to as well. Lisa and I have mentioned this many times in the show before. This is a very special time for us, this hour in which we get together every single week. When I sometimes say we've been waiting 167 hours for you, that's basically true. We can't wait to see you again, even though it's somewhat vicariously and audio only through the magic of our computers and MP3s and other wave files and so on and so forth. But we are glad that you are here. This is all about you and enjoying life to the fullest as it was intended to be, and we believe that is clothes-free, within the regulations, within the rules that have changed since the beginning of time. It used to be everybody was naked, unless they had to put something on for the weather. Otherwise, free as can be. So we're glad that you're with us. Clothes-free living for all the right reasons. And I don't know about you, but I hear some music. Could it be? Yes, it is. It's time for the great, the completely over-the-top, fully clothes-free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the completely over-the-top, the fully clothes-free and Lisa Monroe, what are you doing? I'm trying to, what are you doing?
Well, I'm trying to get in the spirit here. You said the fully naked, the fully dancing, the fully happy. So I'm just got up and started dancing. What can I tell you?
I don't think I actually said fully dancing, did I?
Well, I don't know, but the mood hit me.
I'm trying to introduce Lisa without looking at her, which I haven't done for many months because she tries to, and she stands up and is just dancing like 3-4 feet away. On the other side of the table, very unfair. See, now we have to start over again because we have to make this official.
Oh, well, okay, Mr. Perfect. Must do everything to perfection.
Are you calmed down now? Can we actually do this?
Yes, I shall sit here with decorum.
All right. First time for everything, right? Why not? All right, here we go. For the listeners, this counts now. We'll make this one count. And here she is, the one and only, the completely clothes-free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
I can talk now?
You may talk now, yes.
Thank you.
And dance.
Thank you. Okay. Well, I may not dance anymore because you don't seem to appreciate my dancing
I did not say that. I did not say that. No. I don't. Well, it's not that I don't appreciate you trying to distract me, but you definitely distracted me with your dancing today. So.
Well, good. That was the point.
All right. Well, you succeeded. So how are you doing?
I'm doing terrific. How about you?
Not bad. We had, obviously, yesterday, the 4th of July, we had a whale of a day. We hosted a little barbecue here for the people who work here, and you were nice enough to show up and actually, come to think of it, because we had music playing, you were dancing then too. You're just a dancing machine.
Yes, I am. I'm the one who enjoys life. I don't know about you, but then again, I've seen you dance, so maybe you shouldn't.
Hey, I have a few moves I can bust out here. Don't tempt me. You don't want to dance when you're barbecuing. Things could go really bad very quickly.
Yeah, you could throw hamburgers in the air, and so maybe not good.
Yeah,
not good at all.
Land in the pool. I believe of the two of us, only one of us has been on stage dancing in an actual theatrical production, and that would be me. So I have some more experience dancing on stage than you, not counting your recitals when you were a kid.
Well, this is true. As an adult, I haven't danced on stage in any theatrical presentation. However, I have danced on stage with a few bands.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm the life of the party. Didn't you know that?
This is new information to me. What do you mean danced on stage with bands?
Well, you go somewhere and there's a band, and the next thing you know, they're dragging you up on stage and you're dancing with the band members. So.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't a planned theatrical production. Okay. Just spontaneous. We have music. Lisa's in the audience. Let's get her up here and dance and see if she takes her clothes off. Did you?
No.
Okay, I just threw that in for
Remember back
effect.
to that decorum thing? I do know when it's proper and when it isn't. Might have been more fun.
I'm not so sure about that now after what happened a few minutes ago.
Okay, be that way.
All right. But anyway, yeah, we had a great day and
Yeah.
mostly focusing on hamburgers and hot dogs. That's a little
Yes.
unusual. We usually like to go steak, pork chops, chicken, fish. But the crew seemed to, just keep it simple.
I think the 4th of July kind of lends itself to, that kind of the hot dogs, apple pie, hamburgers, that kind of thing. So it was a lot of fun.
There was a commercial a long time ago. Now, I only know this from going to the public library and firing it up on microfiche, the archives, because I was too far. I'm not old enough to remember this from the 70s. But Chevrolet had a commercial. It's baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet.
Chevrolet.
Yeah, oh, you
Yes.
remember that one?
I do. I do. I
Yeah.
was very young, but I do.
Okay. Yeah, baseball, hot dogs, apple pie, and Chevrolet. And certainly the first three go hand in hand with the 4th of July. And what the heck, I guess Chevrolet does too. But any car just to get out there on the open road and drive around would be great.
Yeah, well, my dad always said it's hot dogs, apple pie, and Ford because he was
Yeah.
the Ford guy. It doesn't exactly rhyme, but
Used to be what, 3 or 4 car company. It used to be Ford, GM, and Chrysler, and then some foreign products, foreign to the USA.
right.
And now I don't know how many not models, but brand names there are, like a billion. It seems like.
I know, and I can't keep up with even what some of the old ones have been called. Whatever that new thing is that Chrysler and all those people belong to, it just makes no sense. But
Yeah.
anyway,
All right, but a good day.
as long as it runs.
Yeah, absolutely. A good day was had by all, and we'll do it again
Yes.
next 4th of July. We'll do other things between now and then. It's not as though we have to wait
Yes.
another year for another barbecue get together, right?
Exactly.
All right, well, let's get on with it here. Everybody knows we have a Patreon page, and you know why. We gave up paid work to do this show for free, not too bright on our part, so we asked you for help. You've come along and helped us quite a bit, a whole bunch, to meet expenses for the show. We appreciate you very much. And Lisa Monroe, on each episode, we like to highlight 2 people who are PPPs, paying Patreon peeps. Who do we have today?
We have 2 people that have joined us, Brett and Hazel.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Brett, and thank you, Hazel. Hazel is one of those names. A long time ago, it used to be popular. Then it wasn't for a long time, and it's coming back now.
It sure is.
I don't know how old this particular Hazel is, but I know some kids, 5 to 10 years old, named Hazel. So what do they say? Everything old is new again?
This is very true. Everything comes back around. So some of these old names that, came from the 40s and 50s or even the earlier coming back up again.
Yeah. I think I'm going to change my name to Ludwig, Ludwig von Beethoven. You think that's okay? Would people notice?
I think that would be delusions of grandeur,
Okay.
but that's okay. I think they might notice.
I can hear the beginning now. Welcome to Naked Nudists and Naturists. I'm your host, Ludwig von Beethoven. And, it probably wouldn't fly. People probably suspect, hey, wait a minute. He's not the real Beethoven, you think?
Yeah, I think they might figure that out.
Especially
Maybe.
since he died a couple hundred years ago. But anyway, we are way off the beaten path here. See, it's your dancing at the beginning. It's thrown me off kilter here.
Oh, that's just really awful. You're supposed to just be able to regroup and do everything. What can I tell you?
I'm doing my best. Let's move on to merchandise. Anything new and exciting in that area?
No, just we're just really happy that people are enjoying the merchandise, and I really said we've had some tote bags go out. We've had a few more beach towels. The beach towels are amazing. The Close Reliving for All the Right Reasons is really doing well, and as I said before, I love the coffee mug from that. So anyone who likes coffee mugs and wants to collect them or wants a new one, go take a look at that one because it's just a very nice, clean, nice looking mug with a good saying on it. So, but it's doing well. So we appreciate everyone who's enjoying them, who's bought merchandise and who's enjoying it.
Okay. And tell our people again how they can find our merchandise page.
They can go to nakednudistandnaturist.com and click on NNN shop on the top menu.
All right. And that takes you right there. And again, we appreciate everybody for joining the Patreon page and also for picking up the merchandise. And Lisa Monroe, as we mentioned a few times today, is the 5th of July, which means, because I'm really good at math, in 2 days it will be the 7th, because 5 plus 2 is 7, correct?
I'm very impressed. Yes, sir.
All right.
That is correct.
And that can only mean one thing. It's to kick off the American Association for Nude Recreation. Nude Recreation Week goes all next week, Monday through July 13th. All kinds of exciting things going on, including next Saturday, July 12th. What is going on? Something really big.
I do believe that's National Skinny Dipping Day.
Yes, it is.
A very, very nice day. Everyone should join in.
Yes, I celebrate National Skinny Dipping Day every day. So I didn't know there was only one day set aside for it, but that's maybe to get non-nudists, non-naturists to get their clothes off once a year, or at least try it. Maybe they'll be hooked.
It would be nice if that worked, but I'm terribly afraid that the people who won't do it anyway won't do it that day. But it would be nice. But at least it's a day where all of us can say, look, we can be naked and we can jump in the water and we can have a good time. And I'm not a lake or a river jumper.
Okay.
Anyone who jumps in the pool or jumps in the ocean and naked, it's just the most amazing feeling in the world.
Yeah, and I do know of some people I've met along the road of life here who took National Skinny Dipping Day. They were not nudists or naturists, but they said, you know what? That sounds like fun. I can do it and get away with it because if anybody
Hmm.
has a problem, I can say, hey, it's National Skinny Dipping Day. So, I can get away with it. And they did, and they found out, oh, wait a minute, this actually feels pretty good. No wetsuit clinging to me, or it's just all the yucky stuff that goes with swimsuits. And the two I'm thinking of in particular, became naturists after that. And so maybe it is a good way to kick off your naturist life if you're not there yet.
And I think it might be because of otherwise, if you're with a group of people and you've never done it before and they're doing it and it's not an issue, then suddenly that barrier falls away. And, maybe you're not so embarrassed or so, frightened of it. And you just jump in and enjoy it and learn that it's the best way to live.
There you go. So again, Nude Recreation Week starting Monday, July 7th, goes all the way to next Sunday, July 13th. And you can go to AANR.com and find out more information, different events planned. Nude Recreation Week and National Skinny Dipping Day next Saturday. Now, Lisa Monroe, we have a very big announcement that we first released to our PPPs only, the two upper tiers, back on our June 10th special content. Now we're going to release it to everybody here on July 5th. Do you want to have the honors or shall I?
Well, it was your idea. And so maybe we should let you be the one to introduce this to the world.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate
Yes.
that.
I always like to give you the spotlight.
All right. Well, we've had this request coming at us, as I mentioned before, since right after our first show hit, which was July 1st of 2023. And by the way, I just realized this is the kickoff to our third year, isn't it?
It sure
How
is.
about that?
Wow.
We should have
Oh
we
my
should have had a
gosh.
mariachi band in here or a symphony
Well,
orchestra or
I
something.
think we should have
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
you sparklers, I don't know,
Yeah.
something.
That's right. But we
3 years,
yeah, starting year 3 today.
starting year three.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Yeah, that's right. And we've gotten this request right after the first show and just about every week since then from either one person or 50, depending on the week or more. Why don't you and Lisa do a show together? So we plan to do that. We did one a few weeks ago on June 21st. We have more planned throughout the year, but are you sitting down, Lisa Monroe? I know you are. I can see you, but
Yes, I am. I was kind of told to keep in my seat, so I'm keeping
exactly.
in my seat.
No standing up, dancing, and distracting the
No.
host. Just stay right there.
Yes.
We want to
Yes.
make sure the listeners are sitting down as well. We are going to start producing. Wait for it. Drum roll, please. See, we should have brought drummers in too. Well,
Yeah, we
we
should.
just didn't plan this out. We are going to start a Wednesday show. That's right. You heard it
Yeah.
right. Every single Saturday, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time on Spotify. But now, I don't want to say every Wednesday yet because we're going to kind of walk into this, not run. Yeah, but we will be starting later in July, probably the last Wednesday of July. We're looking at to start. And it won't necessarily be a full hour, and it will just be Lisa and Frank, no guests. We will start that the last Wednesday of this month. And again, not a full hour necessarily. I guess we can guarantee it'll be between 15 and 60 minutes. Might be 25, might be 42 and a half. Kind of like all the other shows in the world do. They just hit record, and when it's over, it's over. And that's what we'll be doing for you on Wednesdays. Give us a chance to dive in more deeply on some topics, maybe have some other special announcements as we go along. See, I'm into car commercials, apparently. Remember the old Toyota commercial? You asked for it, you got it, Toyota. In this case,
Yes.
you asked for it, you got it, Lisa and Frank, more of it.
I'm hoping they'll want it as much as they wanted Toyotas. That would be
Well,
nice, but
no
we'll
kidding.
see.
That's right.
But I think it'll be fun. And just surprisingly to me, we've had a lot of people say, hey, we just like more time with Frank and Lisa. And so this is a way of doing that on a very consistent basis. And hopefully, we'll be able to do some things with this show and expand on some the topics and so forth that we wanted to do. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, so we'll do a show every Wednesday, and then every Wednesday afternoon, you and I will be at the clinic getting our bodily fluids replaced and oxygen hooked up, and then we'll be good to go for the Saturday show.
Yes, we've complained about how much time we spent on this, and not really complain, but discuss how much time we spent on the original show,
Yeah.
and now we're adding a second one. So,
Yeah.
okay, we can do this.
Yeah, and there will be no guest, so that eliminates a lot of hours and work on that end,
Yeah.
and also not up against the 59 minutes and 59 seconds. That opens up that part to us as well. So it won't be as much time, and it won't be as stressful, if lack of a better term. It's good stress. There is good stress in life, and doing this show is definitely good stress. So we'll start that the last Wednesday of this month. How about that?
Sounds like a plan and sounds like a lot of fun. I'm actually looking forward to it because it, again, will give us a chance to kind of talk in a more relaxed manner and not have time constraints that we have on an hour show. And so I think it'll be fun. I hope everybody enjoys it.
I think so, absolutely. And before we go, Lisa, Rick Dorociak has produced yet another song. See, there's another guy. I don't think he sleeps at all. He's just producing content 25, 26, 27 hours a day, 8, 9, 10 days a week. He's just going at it. And this one, he didn't say that he named it after you, but it is one of your favorite topics. Why don't you give the title?
The title is certainly one of my favorite topics. The song is called No Tan Lines.
That's right. So let's listen to it right now by Rick Dorociak, No Tan Lines.
Summer's here and we're getting ready. Heading to the beach, got drinks aplenty. Feet in the sand, sun on my face. Jump in the water, it's my happy place. Throw down the towel, soak up the sun. Tan lotion, yeah, got plenty on. No tan lines are the goal today. The sun's gonna do its job, let's play. Let the breeze roll through, feel the freedom shine. A little cheeky smile under open skies. No tan lines, just sunshine, bare as the truth and feeling fine. No worries here, just salty air, letting go without a care. Freedom's found in the skin I'm in, starting summer naked where it all begins. No shirts, no shoes, no deadline signs, just chilling here with no tan lines. Coolers packed, the music's loud, dancing like fools we draw a crowd. Happiness echoes, waves crash near, a perfect day with nothing to wear. Sandy toes and heart set free, living life naked is how it should be. No tan lines are the goal today. The sun's gonna do its job, let's play. Let the breeze roll through, feel the freedom shine. A little cheeky smile under open sky. No tan lines, just sunshine, bare as the truth and feeling fine. No worries here, just salty air, letting go without a care. Freedom's found in the skin I'm in, start summer naked where it all begins. No shirts, no shoes, no deadline signs, just chilling here with no tan lines. No tan lines, just sunshine, bare as the truth and feeling fine. No worries here, just salty air, letting go without a care. Freedom's found in the skin I'm in, starting summer naked where it all begins. No shirts, no shoes, no deadline signs, just chilling here with no tan lines.
And there you go. Rick Dorociak just never stops impressing me with whatever he does, his enthusiasm, his books, now his music. He's out there all over the place. And I know you enjoyed that song because, yes, everybody, she was dancing again.
Well, I couldn't help it because that song is really good and it's now become my anthem. So
Yeah.
I shall be probably singing it a lot. So
Oh, yes.
not well, but singing it. So really, Rick's just really talented and and kind of hits that nerve of what naturism is all about and celebrates it. And that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing is celebrating it, not taking it into negative pathways. So this is great.
Yeah. I've always said, among other things, when it comes to music, there are two kinds of music, good music and bad music.
Mhm.
And we can get into that and talk 150,000 hours. But this is really well written and well performed. And so we appreciate you, Rick Dorociak, very much. And at least I know you do too.
Oh, absolutely. And Rick, just keep writing and we'll keep giving the world your music. So it's just great.
Absolutely. And anybody else who does write naked songs, send them in to us. We'll get them on the show. And with that, Lisa Monroe, going to have to head off. Part 2 of my interview with Chris from Indiana Naturist is coming up. And you're going to hang around until the end of the show. So go out there and have a great clothes-free half hour or so. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, I'm just going to dance out of here. I'll see you in a minute.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. The very terrific Lisa Monroe. She does it all around here, including standing up and dancing while I'm trying to introduce her. Yeah, she's gone now, so she will not hear this until the show runs later. But if you have any ideas of how I can pay her back during the show to throw her off course, I would be glad to hear those. You can send me an email at nakedforevermore@gmail.com. And despite all of the nonsense and hilariousness activity, we do thank Lisa Monroe for all that she does around here. As a reminder, we are the official podcast for the American Association for Nude Recreation. Are you a member? I certainly hope so, and if you are, that is absolutely terrific. You are one of us, as they say. But if you are not, you can still become one today. In fact, you can become one right now during the show. Just go to AANR.com, follow the links and the navigation to membership, and within moments you will become a member of the American Association for Nude Recreation, just like Lisa Monroe is and just like I am. How about that? Well, you are listening to Naked Nudists and Naturists, episode 106 today. Really glad to be with you. Glad that you are here for our 106th Saturday in a row. We haven't missed one yet since July 1st of 2023 when we started. But for now, let's get to part 2 of my interview with Chris, the founder and owner of Indiana Naturists.
So it was really a hard thing to do. I had to wrestle with it in my head for a while because it's like, well, what if she just thinks I'm a total scumbag and slams the door and never comes back?
Sure, could happen.
I think she was kind of in the same boat, maybe not as much as I was, but luckily she was, because she decided to give it a try, I guess.
Yeah, right.
But
Right.
I was nervous as heck. We had one of our, actually, while we were, I think we just ate dinner, we were sitting on the couch, and one of our members had called and he had some questions about Turtle Lake Resort. And he'd never been there. He was getting ready to visit. So he had some questions for me. So she is sitting right next to me, and I'm trying to answer these questions without totally spilling the beans of what I'm talking about.
All right.
So, and she kept hearing me say TLR and AANR. She's like, in her head, she's like, I got to remember these so I could search later and figure out what he's talking about.
Sure.
So after I got off the phone, he was like, okay, it's now or never. I have to spill the beans. I could tell that she was, her mind was going a million miles an hour trying to figure out what I was talking about. So it was kind of a now or never type of thing. It's like, okay, here you go. I laid it all out, and luckily it worked out for the best.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is because she was already into you. She was already thinking, probably, this is the guy for the rest of my life. And the fact that you shared it so early, like, wow, he's so into me. He's revealing everything about himself. And gosh, I hate to say this because I don't want to come off the wrong way, but people in general, but specifically women, we have found really appreciate that. They
Yeah,
really appreciate the openness. They despise, hate, and want to throw in the burning fire in the trash secrets or stuff that goes on behind their backs because then they, women, but all people, begin to think, women, I think, more than men because they're just wired differently to this stuff. Okay, what else has he kept hidden from me? What
exactly.
else has he not told me? And then they start going through your pockets and your wallet and credit card receipts, and the trust is just broken, never to be repaired. You can still survive, but it will never be the same again once she believes he kept this hidden from me. There's a reason for it. So it's really good that you told her up front. That's what we encourage people to. Don't wait. And if you have been married 30 years, I don't know what to recommend to people because if you tell her now, that's 30 years plus all the dating where you kept a secret, she's going to have the same reaction. Okay, what else haven't you told me?
Exactly.
Why do you always have a 22-year-old hot blonde secretary? And now I want to know the stories on each one. I don't know. What do you recommend at that point? A couple's married 20, 25, 30 years. He's never told her. Should he tell her even now?
We actually have couples that's exactly how it went down.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's it's a complicated scenario. You know, and it's hard for me to give advice on that because,
Yeah.
you know, my advice would be, why didn't you tell her up front in the beginning?
Yeah.
But it does happen quite a bit. I know that sometimes they come around, sometimes they don't, but it's just so much easier if you're honest from the beginning. The one thing that I've kind of figured out over life too is the ones that I always thought would have the hardest time learning the news that I'm a naturist are the ones that usually take it pretty well. And then the ones that I think are, you know, are going to be very accepting up front are the ones that usually aren't
Wow.
accepting up front. It's, I'm not quite sure why that is, but maybe I'm just a bad judge of people. But, but you know, I have friends that I've come out to and I'm like, oh, they're going to be totally down for all of this. And then they look at you like, oh my gosh, you're some kind of pervert. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then there's others that it's like, well, I'm just gonna swing the bat and see if I connect with anything. And next thing you know, they're asking questions and wanting to join. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, even your name on the online site you talked about where you met your wife, Packers Naturist. You know, you revealed you're a Packers fan right up front. So
mhm.
immediately she could think, I don't know if she did, but she could think, okay, every Sunday in football season from 1 to about 4:15, he's going to be glued to the TV. Is that good enough? Can I live with that? And do I like football? Can I maybe go shopping or go to lunch with a friend? But at least they know, as opposed to you keep it hidden. You get married and she says, hey, baby, you know, why don't we go out for a fancy lunch today? Oh, no, the Packers are coming on in 2 minutes. Sorry, I'll see you at, 4:15. Well, then we have a problem, don't we?
You know, that's kind of a funny situation too. Because when we first started dating, one of my really close friends we were out with, and it wasn't football season when we met. And one thing that he said to her was, "You haven't met football season, Chris, yet.
Oh,
Just
boy.
wait."
Oh, boy. Here we go.
But you know, I am that type of person though. There's nothing on planet Earth that's going to keep me away from that game.
Yeah.
And she's luckily very accepting of that. She's not a football fan. She usually finds, you know, it's a good time to get the laundry caught up or to, you know. But it's something that I've been passionate about since I was very little,
Yeah.
and that's
Same here. Yeah.
something
So it's a big part of who you are, just like
exactly.
naturism is. Yeah.
We bought this house that we're in now. It's been like 6 or 7 years ago,
Hmm.
and I loved the property. She loved the house, but
Hmm.
the house was tan with kind of a weird pink, like the shutters and everything was like this really weird pink.
Okay.
So I told her, I was like, you know, I love the land, you know, the house is good, but I don't want to live in a pink house. That just seems so. And she was just in love with it. She's like, you know what? If we get this house, you can paint it any color you want.
Wow.
So
All
now
right.
we have a green and gold house.
Oh,
So
the Packers colors. Right. And she's okay with that.
she luckily she loves the color scheme. So
Okay. Well, that's a very good thing. And yeah, I have some friends who are so heavily into college football, and I mean, like way over the top. And I suppose I used to be, but I like to think I've matured a little, even though other people in my life don't think so. But it's my claim that I've matured a little. They are so heavily into college football. You know, every college football team gets a bye week. You know, they get a Saturday off, and they'll tell their friends, if you are going to get married during the fall, it can only be on October, whatever, 14th, because my team has a bye week. Any other Saturday, I'm not coming. That's how into it they are. Even though, we have DVRs and other ways to record games, they know they're going to hear the result of the game before they get to the recording. So they're going to skip even a best friend's wedding for a game. Now, that's probably overdoing it. I've been in that situation too where, do I go to the wedding or do I stay for the game? Well, I guess I better go to the wedding because when the game is over, it's over. And, my friend, if I blow him off, that's going to be over and it could have lasted forever. So we do have to be careful with that. But it's good that you told her. So you told her everything up front. You're a Packers fan. I'm going to be glued to the TV every Sunday afternoon, an occasional Monday night, Thursday night, depending on when they play, and maybe even Sunday night or late Sunday afternoon if they're the big national game. And I love to be nude all the time. So you got all that out there up front. And look at how your marriage has thrived. You're doing very well, right, as a couple.
Yes,
And yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that is terrific. And she helps you run the club as well, the Indiana Naturists.
She does. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. She's our certifying officer for AANR. So she handles all of the money, all the renewals. She'll send out the reminders, that sort of thing. It's kind of funny because, that is one question that I get asked a lot. I haven't dealt with the money in probably a decade. So, someone will go, well, how much is an AANR membership? It's
I don't know.
let me look it up real quick.
That's right.
Steph knows it all off the top of her head, how much
Yeah.
goes to where.
Right.
It's just one of the aspects that I haven't had to deal with for so long. Sometimes I can get those numbers wrong, but she's a huge help with the club for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, what are the advantages of being affiliated with the American Association for Nude Recreation? You're not a landed club. You don't have a beach. You are a non-landed club. And as you say on your website, a private nudist travel club. You have events all the time, but they're at different people's homes. You could just do this on your own, but there are advantages to being affiliated with AANR. What are some of them in your view?
Most importantly, it's just the validation that we are what we say we are, and we're not, something different. I know before we joined AANR, I had 18, 20 members. It was pretty small. We would have an event if we got 5 or 6 people. We had a huge event. 6 people showed up to play cards.
Yeah.
Once we applied for our AANR affiliation, we grew so fast I could barely keep up. We weren't 100% right off the bat. We were just chartered. But we shot to 100 members within a couple of years. We had 100 members just by having, AANR backing us, and people understood, hey, this is a legit thing. It brought a lot of credibility to our club. Since then we've gone to 100%, and we did lose some members. We generally right now we're in the 70 to 75 members range.
Mm-hmm.
I think we dropped down to somewhere around 60 when we went 100% because some people just don't want to join for whatever reason, whether it's money or what.
Okay.
And then we've slowly built that back up.
Yeah.
We've been 100% for 6 or 7 years maybe.
Okay.
So we're building it back up now. But to be honest, the ones that dropped off weren't really participating anyway. So
right, that's usually what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to join AANR, each person in your club must be an AANR member as well, or not necessarily?
Correct.
They do.
Correct.
Okay,
They have to be an AANR member. They can,
okay,
be a member through another club or be a direct member, or they can join through us.
Okay.
One of the advantages of being a non-landed club, I guess, is, we don't have a lot of overhead. So it actually saves people money to join AANR through us than just to join through their club.
Oh.
I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but when you join AANR, a portion of that goes to AANR and Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm.
A portion of that goes to your region, and then a very small percentage of that goes to the club itself.
Okay.
So we waive that amount that comes to the club.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
just for a little bit of an extra savings.
Sure.
And then some landing clubs actually charge more. I think it's up to $13 or something like that. A club can charge on top of their club dues. So, we have members that join, just for example, like if you're a couple and you want to join AANR, it's $65 a person to join as a direct member. So you're
Okay.
at $130 a year,
Hmm.
where to join our club with the discounts and everything, it's $120 for a couple.
Okay.
It's actually cheaper to join both Indiana Naturists and AANR at the same time
Wow.
than it is just to go to the website and join AANR.
Okay.
So, a lot of times, it's we're not a discount club. That's not what we're
Right.
about. This isn't a money making endeavor at any means. It's a stepping stone endeavor. Really, what it is to get people that first step on to their life of naturism. So everything we can do to cut costs for people, we do. One advantage that you can get from joining a club like ours versus joining another landed club is quite a bit cheaper, obviously.
Yeah.
And then the one thing too is, pretty much 100% of the dues that comes in goes towards fun. We don't have overhead costs. We don't have rent of a building. It's it our money goes to having fun events and doing fun things versus, having to pay the heat bill
Right.
in the clubhouse or something like that.
And a landscaper and fix the
Exactly.
electricity and everything else.
Uh-huh.
Well, if somebody in your group gives up their home for an event, they don't charge a fee for that. They just do that for free to help the club.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, that helps a
Most
lot
of our
too.
events are free.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
we do nude bowling 3
Right.
times a year.
Right.
There is a small fee for that just to help cover the rental of the bowling alley.
Hmm.
But for the most part, most of our events are free. Now, when we go to other clubs, obviously there's fees involved, with that club,
Hmm.
but there's there's no fee for us that we get paid to do those events.
Okay. Well, what is a nude bowling? How does that work? So you go to the bowling alley, the place, and say we want to rent the whole place, or they just give you a prescribed number of lanes, or how does that work?
No, we rent the whole building.
Okay.
Um,
Good. Yeah.
and the place that we rent, they've got 3 security cameras. Once the time is hit, everyone's arrived, we lock the doors. We usually take a few t-shirts, throw them over the security cameras, and then we just make the announcement,
Ah,
all right, we're good to do what we want to do. And then
that's
everybody
good.
just kind
Uh,
of takes their clothes off and enjoys themselves.
that's the way to do it. What about the workers at these bowling alleys? I'm guessing they stay closed. Maybe not.
They do stay clothed.
Okay.
They keep the staff at a minimum. There's only 2 people working. Usually it's the owner and his wife. Sometimes it's the wife and one of her friends, which I think is kind of a funny story as well. Her friend kind of got roped into doing our events because she visited a nudist club 20 years ago one time.
Wow.
So then she was automatically qualified to work with an Indiana naturist coming down.
Close enough, right?
But yeah, they're very accepting. It's kind of a weird story, but me and our vice president at the time had been calling. I couldn't even tell you how many bowling alleys we called and got hung up on or laughed at, or and then we called this particular bowling alley, and he immediately started asking actually pretty good questions. Well, what do you do when you sit down? Do you carry Lysol wipes, for to clean the seat? Like, oh, no, we all bring towels. We sit on towels,
Okay.
you know. Um, so I kind of knew right off the bat, it's like this guy's asking good questions. I think we've got a shot. We went and visited him on just a regular weekend when they were open, and we bowled a few games and chit chatted with them, and eventually we got them to come around. We've been doing it for quite a while. At first it was like more of let's keep this secret. I want you guys to park around the side of the building. Now he's pretty open about it.
Okay.
But
Now,
yeah.
what do they give you in terms of time? I'm guessing not a prime time. Like, well, maybe they do. I mean, like a Saturday night is a big night for bowling for a lot of people. Do they give you a Saturday night? Do they give you what you want, or how does that work?
They do pretty much now give us whatever we want. We
Ah,
do an after party afterwards. So generally it's early afternoon that
okay.
we do. We do 3 hours. We lock the doors bowl for 3 hours, and then we get dressed and they open the doors and open for regular business. But they kind of
Okay.
treat it like a private party
Sure.
type of deal, just with the doors locked, I guess. But um, and then usually afterwards, we either come back to our house, or we've got other members that live nearby the bowling alley, and they just hang out for a few hours, and maybe do a potluck or something.
Okay. We're talking to Chris Brown from the Indiana Naturists, and they are a non landed club, obviously in Indiana, and they're affiliated with the American Association for Nude Recreation. And Chris, on your website, you list a number of activities that it says some of the many activities we enjoy together are monthly membership hosted gatherings. Those are in person, everything's in person. Skinny dips, nude bowling, you mentioned, hot tub parties, group resort trips, fundraisers, bonfires, camping trips, game nights, potluck dinners, nude volleyball, and other special events. It's basically you're willing to do anything and everything to bring people together, aren't you?
We are actually we're looking at doing a animal sanctuary tour in the nude. So we're always trying to come up with fun, different things to do. Pretty much any idea, we'll at least discuss and figure out if we can do it. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, we're all about the experiences. So
Yeah. Well, even on your website, you list a number of very important links. Your mission, how you can become a new member, taking the plunge, Nudist 101, frequently asked questions. So you're appealing to everybody out there. Okay, here's this nudist club. I don't even know what that is. Sounds pretty wild to me. Then they fire up your FAQs or your nudist 101. It's like, oh, this is totally different than what I thought. That probably pays a lot of dividends for you as well, right? Having those links.
it does, and it generates a lot. Like I told you earlier, I get a lot of random calls, a lot of random texts from people that I don't know, questions. I think that drives more people to, reach out to me, or reach out to the club, I guess, with, looking for advice and stuff like that. I don't normally look at it as, trying to promote our club per se, as I am just trying to promote naturism in general.
All right.
And our club is just a part of that. But, I get that a lot. I was reading your code of conduct today, and I had a few questions. Or, I get that a lot.
Yeah. Now that's how I took it as well when I was reading through the questions and Nudist 101 link. It's general information for naturism in general, not necessarily specific to your club, although it applies to your club too, but it applies to naturism overall, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Naturism, nudism. Do you call it naturism since you're Indiana naturist? Is that a better term for you, or does it matter?
I think that the terms are interchangeable. I prefer naturism. So back when I first learned that social nudism was a thing, I did a lot of Googling, and the word nudism, just search results may not always be
Yeah.
what you're looking for. And I
Yeah.
just always found that naturism always seemed to direct more towards what we actually are. So I personally, I mean, I do use both terms, but I personally prefer naturism over nudism. But obviously, they're completely interchangeable in my mind. But there just sometimes can be undertones with the word nudism
Yeah.
that
Yeah, we've noticed that too. Some people have co-opted that term, and nudism to them means, "Hey, baby, let's get together and we'll have a wild party all night long." Whereas that's not what it's about. And you don't use it that way. We don't use it that way. So as long as people understand why we're using it, I guess it's okay. And if they're using it for other stuff, they're not going to be getting into any Indiana naturist anytime soon, anyway, right?
correct,
Yeah.
correct. If you search social nudism on Google, you're probably going to be about page 4 before you get to something genuinely nudist. It seems like,
Yeah.
where naturism, you might be on page 2.
Yeah,
But,
it's true. That's very true. So without question, even though you were a home nudist forever, you definitely recommend and advocate for the whole social naturism experience without question.
oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time kind of separating the two. I've had other members like, why didn't you ask them to join? It's like, well, that I don't really feel like that's my job, is to grow the club. I'm not trying to have the biggest club around. I consider myself more an advocate for naturism in general, just the general practice of it. And the club is is just a small part of that. I'll talk with people for weeks, sometimes months, and never ask them to join our club because
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's where the conversation is leading to. I think it's just more about the acceptance part more than it is, I want to be a part of the club. Now, if it is something like that where, hey, I want to enjoy social movement, I want to try it, well then absolutely I'm going to tell them all about Indiana Naturists. And
Yeah.
that's not generally what people are asking about. You
Okay.
know, it's it's more. I get a lot of my husband likes to run around naked. Is he crazy? Or
Yeah. Sure.
you
And you say yes, but love them anyway, and come to Indiana Naturist. No, I'm just kidding. Do you allow people to show up? Obviously, pre-planned. Okay, I'm not going to join your club today, but I'd like to show up and experience it for one day, even if I have to pay. Is that allowed, or do you basically have to join first?
no, I don't necessarily say, hey, we're going to this member's home. Just come and feel it out for a day. But me and my wife are generally open to have people come over here.
Right.
As a private. Hey,
Mm.
we'll just have dinner together and see if it's something that you can handle.
Yeah.
We've got a hot tub, we've got a pool, so it's, hey, go skinny dipping, you'll be hooked,
Yeah.
type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
We actually just did that yesterday. We have a couple that's curious. They actually never experienced any kind of social nudism before. We actually went out to lunch a few weeks ago to answer questions for them and just kind of be a resource for them. They'd never even been socially nude together at home yet.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So that was kind of my assignment. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, a couple times, even if it's only for an hour, go home, be nude, do regular everyday things with no sexual undertones, and just
Yeah.
maybe make dinner or something
Yeah.
in the nude and just kind of get the feel for it.
Yeah.
So they did that a few times and reached back out and was like, hey, we want to try a smaller setting. So we invited another couple as part of our group and we played cards and soaked in the hot tub. So yeah, we did that last night. I think they're coming around. And I was actually speaking with the other couple that came from our group about it last night. And it's like, you know what? I don't perceive these as people that are going to join our club. We've successfully moved them along their journey. Maybe
Mhm.
they will, maybe they won't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's more about, now they've got their footing, they've tried some things, and let's just see where that journey leads them later on. Who knows? I could have an application right now in my
Right.
inbox waiting.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. We're
But
talking to Chris Brown, Indiana naturist. And Chris, before we let you go, I don't know a lot about Indiana. I mean, I know quite a bit from reading and experiencing, but I've never lived there. Are you a lifelong Indiana guy?
I'm not. I grew up in Iowa.
Okay.
Um, I moved to Indiana in 1997, so I've been here for quite a while. But I grew up on a cornfield out in the middle of nowhere in
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah, that's right. Well, what about there are two things we hear about if we live outside of Indiana. One is the Indianapolis 500, car race, big deal every year around or Memorial Day weekend. Have you ever been to that?
I have not. I've
Okay.
been there during the carb night or carb day, whatever it is. Working, I used to work for an audiovisual company that we did some stuff in the infield for the Indy 500. So I've actually seen cars going around the track and stuff, but I've never actually been to the actual race.
Okay.
I grew up on dirt tracks. My stepdad was a race car driver, so sprint cars and stuff like that. I've been watching my whole life, but I've never been able to make the transition to pavement. NASCAR, maybe I don't have the attention span for it. Dirt tracks are a lot of really short races put together instead
Yeah.
of just one really long 3-hour race.
Yeah.
But yeah, just I'm probably an outsider here in Indiana. Not into
Okay.
any cars, but
Well, the other thing we hear about a lot, he recently passed away, though, legendary basketball coach Bobby Knight was an
Mhm.
institution at Indiana University. You ever been to an Indiana University basketball game or Purdue, has pretty good teams year to year. Are you a college basketball or even a college football fan as well?
I love college basketball.
Okay.
I'm an Iowa Hawkeyes fan.
Oh, okay. Well, there you
Um,
go. All right.
I would go to the Big Ten tournament when it was in Indy.
Yeah.
So I've been to that a few times. When I was a kid growing up, we used to go to Hawkeye games all the time at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and I had my cousin actually worked for George Raveling back in the 80s.
Wow.
So, we used to be able to go into the locker rooms and meet the coaches and have our pictures taken with some of the players back in the day, which is really
Wow.
neat.
Oh,
But
yeah.
my family, everything revolved around Iowa basketball. So,
Okay.
you could go out with your friends, do whatever, but tip off is at 7 o'clock. You better be, and have your butt parked in the chair, ready to go.
That's right. If you want dinner at any point during the next 2 weeks, you better be here for that game. Oh, that's great. Well, again, we've been talking to Chris from Indiana Naturists. And Chris, your website is indiananaturists.com. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. And you're okay if people call you or email you if they have questions, right? Whether it's about your club or just naturism in general?
Absolutely. There's no unwanted questions. I'm happy to answer anything I can. We also have, we're on X and Blue Sky at Indiana Naturist as well. So you can follow us there. And before I forget too, it would be a smart thing to follow us on X at Indiana Naturist. There's going to be some kind of cool things coming up. If you keep watching us there's going to be some discounts and stuff that come through, some special events as well. I always recommend following us on X and Blue Sky just to keep up to date, especially if you're wanting to give it a try and save a little bit of money.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing great work there, and we support all of the non-landed clubs as well as the landed clubs. Anybody involved in naturism, nudism, or as we call it, clothes-free living for all the right reasons, we are big advocates for. You're doing a great job, Chris. Keep it going. And again, Chris Brown from IndianaNaturist.com. Chris, go out there and have a great clothes-free day. We'll talk again soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The very terrific Chris, the owner and founder of Indiana Naturists, a terrific non-landed club. All of his contact information is in the show notes. And we thank Chris from Indiana Naturists for his appearance on these last two shows. And on the next two shows, which will be episodes 107 and 108, we will speak with Jack and Mary Ann from Florida Nacations. And before we head for the hills for the week, let's bring in our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Welcome back, Lisa.
I'm happy to be back in here. I think I pulled something about last dancing and I quit anyway. That happens after a few years, but but I'll be fine.
You're pushing 28 now, so you really have to be careful
Yeah.
and settle down a little bit.
I certainly do.
Not
I
be
certainly do.
The wild, free spirit you always are around here. Just take it easy. But
Yes.
really enjoyed the time with Chris. And he's doing, lack of a better term, a bang-up job with the Indiana Naturists. Seems to be the growing trend, without question. Non-landed clubs, because they don't have the gigantic overhead that some of these resorts have. And I don't know how they do it. They do really well. The resorts I'm talking about, and a lot of them are out there. But these non-landed clubs are doing well, too. And it gives people another avenue for naturism, especially if they're nowhere near a resort or a nude beach, right?
It certainly does. And the sheer fact that, it's more, to me, it's a bit more intimate group than going to a club resort because, you don't necessarily know who's walking through the door every time. But with this group, you're going to know the people who are going to show up. So it becomes a different level of social interaction, I think. And it's just really a good thing. And with a lot of the resorts now switching to textile only, if they change hands, they tend to turn to textile. So it's really sad. So I think this may be the wave of the future. And it's certainly the way for people who live in more isolated areas. And by isolated, I mean away from anything that they can do, the nude beach or a resort, to actually enjoy being naturist.
Yeah, and we still very much support all the resorts out there and all the great work you do, but we appreciate all the work the non-landed clubs are doing. And with that, Lisa Monroe, we are going to have to head for the hills. Go out there and have a great clothes-free, extra naked week. It's Nude Recreation Week, and we'll see you next time.
Okey-doke, you too, and everybody have a wonderful week, and just, don't forget to swim, to skinny dip, swim naked.
Sounds good. Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 106 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts. And also on Twitter, you can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked Nudists and Naturists.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked Nudists and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.